All right, everybody, welcome to How to Raise Capital for Your Real Estate Deals using AI in less than 60 days. Now, what does that mean in less than 60 days? Well, if you set this up properly, then you should be having conversations with people that are interested in what you have to say in less than 60 days. So, full transparency, that's what that is about. Is that clickbait? Yes, of course it is. This is marketing. Absolutely. But if you were on my off market call a few weeks ago, I told you that AI was clickbait for that call. It is not for this call. In this call, we are going to cover how to legally use AI because there are some regulations that have already come out. It's brand new and they're already coming out from the SEC and the FCC. Yeah, gee, thanks, Sean. Regarding AI, especially its use with raising capital. So we will cover that in this, as I will show you in just a minute. So I'm going to minimize everybody so I don't see you. I do have my chat up. So please keep the conversation rolling in the chat. Be respectful. This is an interactive presentation. So if I stop and ask a question, I will wait for an answer. Okay. So just be aware of that. All right. I have all my screens up. So recently, I don't know if you guys know this or not, those that were on the call a few weeks ago, it wasn't out yet. The SEC had filed charges on an investment advisor firm for making false and misleading statements about their use of artificial intelligence. So we are already seeing legal aspects on using AI for raising capital, and I'm going to cover that. It's not as much as you might think it is, but they are out there, and we have to be careful of that. But we're going to cover a few things before that. So what are we going to cover? Well, we're going to identify who you connect with. Okay. You can't go out and just raise capital from anybody. You've got to know who. No, we're not going to talk about avatars. That's not what this is about. There is a simpler way to reach out to folks than trying to sit down and figure out who your avatar is, which everybody tries to teach, including me in the past, but we can simplify it. How to find investors willing to invest with you. So it's not enough that you know who they are. You got to find them. They got to be able to see your message. So we need to know, where can we go to find those investors? How to turn cold emails into warm emails. So there is an opportunity for you to pull leads lists, even for capital raising, depending on what the industry is that you're trying to do. And I'm going to show an example later for neurosurgeons that you can pull these lists together and you can upload those lists. Now, we cannot use SMS in order to contact those leads cold. The law now says that you cannot do cold SMS. So we need to warm that lead up. We can do that using email and be able to get their permission to send them SMS, which becomes really powerful. And when I show you how we can include AI into those SMS messages, it becomes even more powerful. So we'll cover that in this course today. Then I'll tell you about the truth using AI to raise capital. As I've mentioned, there have been some legal talk already. And then how to use AI to start getting soft commitments in the next 60 days. And then we'll go into some Q&A. I'll give some final or some next steps, and then we'll enter Q&A. So again, be prepared to be here for about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes prior to going into Q&A. Sometimes I go a little long, and because there's probably going to be a lot of questions during this presentation, that may also take us long. Although I've surprised myself sometimes and have either been right on time or even a little bit early. So you never know. All right, so who am I? I am David Monroe, CCIM, and yes, that is my primary email address. I do not hide anything from anybody. Okay, I'm very, very transparent, and I'm very reachable. I'm a multifamily investor and strategic consultant. I am a CCIM, CI 102 market analysis instructor. For some of you, you may not know what that means. CCIM is the MBA of commercial real estate. And I can say that because 135 MBA programs in the United States use the CCIM curriculum in their course structure. There are only 60 CCIM instructors worldwide, and there are 13,000 CCIM members. So it is a very, very exclusive group and very hard to be an instructor for CCIM. And I teach market analysis. That is my expertise, which includes a whole bunch of things that we can go into later. I am also on the tech board, and I am the VP of the CCIM tech board this year for 2024. I am the education committee vice chair for CCIM for 2024, which means that I am on just about every committee CCIM has, because we are an education-based organization, which hurts me and my time, but it is a volunteer position, and I did volunteer to accept it, which means I'll be chair next year. I'm the Ward Center Immediate Past Chair, which is another education arm of CCIM. So as you can see, I'm very involved in the education side of CCIM as well as the tech side for CCIM. I'm a former syndicator, so yes, I've raised capital. I'm not teaching you something I have not done. And I'm a former broker. I don't broker anymore. I still have my license, but it is sitting inactive. And now I am a passive investor when deals make sense and with people that I trust and that I have taught in my own communities. I'm a former multifamily management company owner. That was a mouthful. And that was probably the best education I ever got in multifamily, was owning that management company, actually learning what it took to operate a property. And of course, I am the founder of Acquisition Pro, and we will be peeking inside Acquisition Pro today, because that's where we are going to have the ability to utilize AI. So let's see. Somebody is not. Oh, a bunch of you. Mute everybody. There you go. Everybody's muted. Somebody had a cold, so we had to go ahead and mute everyone. You are still able to unmute if you have a question, so don't worry about that. So utilizing the strategic acquisition process, this is part of the workshop that I'm in the middle of redoing once again. I've done it 3 times. This will be the 4th time. We just started it. Right now, we are looking at, and trying to get the technology to work here, we're looking at the capital stack as part of this process. That's where we talk about capital raising. So when we're looking at the strategic acquisition process, we are in phase 2 analysis, where we are raising capital, trying to get our loan and get towards that closing, which is where capital raising fits in inside that curriculum. All right, so some assumptions before we begin. You have a basic understanding of syndication structure. I'm not going to go into syndication structure. If you want to learn the best way to legally put a syndication together that will keep you out of trouble, I highly, highly, highly recommend Gene Trowbridge, who is also a CCIM. He's a syndication attorney, and he teaches syndication structure. So he doesn't really teach you how to invest in multifamily using syndication. He teaches you the legal side of syndication to keep you out of jail. That you know the difference between accredited and non-accredited investors. We aren't going to cover that in this lesson. I do cover it in the strategic acquisition workshop. That's actually probably 8 lessons in a single module. So I'm making the assumption today that you have an understanding of syndication structure, and that you know the difference between non-accredited and accredited, and have a basic understanding of 506B and 506C. That way we can focus all of our time on how to actually find the money and not deal with the structure itself. Okay, fair? Ooh, I asked a question. I'm waiting for a response. There we go. Thank you, Ivan. Appreciate you, my brother. So, little disclaimer. I'm not an attorney nor a CPA, and I do not play one on TV or pretend to be one in real or imaginary life. This material is for educational purposes only and should not be considered advice. Consult your own attorney and or CPA for such advice. All right, that is the disclaimer. Got that out of the way. Let's talk about raising capital. So, first and foremost, raising capital is all about building relationships. Okay, relationships. I've said this 100 times. Whether this is your first time or whether this is your 50th time seeing any of my presentations, you'll always hear me say that location is not the top 3 words in real estate. It is relationships. Because without the relationships, you're not going to be able to close on the deal, and the location is irrelevant. All right, so having issues with my keyboard today. Identify who you connect with. That's what we're going to talk about first. Probably not what you think it is. Okay, so you have contacts already. In the real estate agent world, the real estate brokerage world, they call it your sphere of influence. So you have a whole bunch of contacts, more than likely on your phone, don't you? So what if you were to just go through that list and start having conversations with people actually on your phone and continuing to build relationships and letting them know what you're doing? Because I'm here to tell you, whether they're a relative or not, you may or may not know what their financial situation is. So I would not automatically assume that they're either accredited or non-accredited, sophisticated or otherwise. Okay. Never make that assumption, especially in your own sphere of influence. So start going through your phone and looking, who do you have as contacts in your phone? Next is email. Okay, you have a bunch of contacts more than likely in your email. Whether you've built an email list, whether you have contacts in your Gmail or Yahoo or AOL, if you're that old. No offense. I was around when AOL was there too. I just never used AOL. Um, in any case, in email, we have contacts. I would start going through those contacts, maybe start extracting some of those contacts out, and we'll talk about what to do with them here shortly. But going through your existing email contacts in your email that you use on a daily basis will begin to start to identify people that may or may not want to invest. Your social media connections. Now, we see it every day, people talking about put the LOI on this, closed on this, did this, did that, and more than likely they own a doorknob of the whole project. But they talk like they bought the whole stinking thing. That's okay. I'm not here to criticize anybody. They can do that if they want to. So we see people constantly having communication about these deals on social media. Well, I'm sure that you've been paying attention to that and you have been friending people and connecting with people that are doing the same. So those social media connections can become very important to you. Maybe it's time to start reaching out to some of them and just sparking a conversation. So reach out to them in a conversational matter, whether they're on your phone, email, social media, whatever that is. Do Prodigy. Now you're showing your age, Jeff. Do some quick research. Uh, you know, did they just have a you can go through their profile, especially if it's on Facebook. Even on LinkedIn, it gives you updates. They just got a new position, or they just got promoted, or they just hired on with a new company, or they just had an anniversary for their business that they own, or. Same with same with Facebook. People will start telling them happy birthday or happy anniversary, or something may have happened to a family member or to a pet, or maybe they just got a new pet or had a baby or whatever the case is. Find something on their profiles, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook, that you can spark a conversation with them about. Okay. Sean, now you're starting to show your age. All right. So find something you can talk about, DM them, say, sorry, it's been a while. Just wanted to say hello. Heard you had a birthday the other day. Sorry I missed it. Happy belated birthday. Just something simple. spark that conversation. Okay, just do it one at a time. This isn't the time to start broadcasting out to a whole bunch of people. All right, and try to do up to 50 a day. If you're really wanting to raise capital for your real estate deals, you're going to have to do some work. Now, AI is going to show us that once we have the leads, that AI can take over, but we have to get the leads first. We have to start to build those relationships and get them into the system to let AI do its job. All right, so create a spreadsheet, whether it's your phone, whether it's your email, whether it's your social media contacts. Start creating a spreadsheet of all the people you believe that would qualify for an investment that you're going to be doing. I wouldn't include some of the ones that probably are not qualified or maybe didn't respond. You still can put those on there. There's no reason not to, because I'm going to show you again. If we create this email list, we can upload it to Acquisition Pro and let Acquisition Pro qualify them at that point. If you don't want to put that through your friends list or through your contacts in your email, then just leave them out. But as you're going through and you're starting to have conversations with people via DM, you're understanding who wants to invest, who doesn't, or who may be interested or possibly interested or doesn't have the time but wants the freedom. You guys know all the different ways to get people to present their pain, problem, heartache on the future. Okay, we all know how to do that. If not, then again, my strategic acquisition workshop in module 9 will show you, well, module 6 now will show you that as I do the update. All right, so get them on a spreadsheet, and we'll talk about what to do with the spreadsheet later. All we really need is our first name, last name, email, phone. We don't need anything else. Okay, that's all we need. And really, we don't need the phone number because you can't SMS them right away. You've got to have permission first. And we're going to send them an email to get them to agree to receive those SMS messages. So in that form that they fill out, it's going to put their phone number anyway. So you don't really have to have the phone number here. It's just a good to have and could be a good way to verify whether you got the right one or not. Then upload your spreadsheet to Acquisition Pro, and I'll show you how to do that as we get into it here in a few minutes. Well, 30 minutes or so. So I will show you what to do with those contacts shortly. I've told you that a few times already. All right. So who else do we connect with? That's our sphere of influence. Those are people that are already in some kind of database, our phone, our email, or our social media. Okay, we already have the connections there. Now we're going to go outside of that. So what is your profession? And when we talk about this, we go back to Jim Collins in the book Good to Great. He talked about the hedgehog concept. In the hedgehog concept, he said you're looking for three things, three circles in a triangle shape, and where they overlap in the middle, that is the sweet spot. What are you passionate about? What can you be the best in the world at? And is there a need for it? So when we start to talk about who else to connect with, we want to make sure that you have passion in your profession, or you're probably not going to want to talk about it. Okay. So if your profession is engineering or IT, or you're an architect, which is a form of engineering, you're a doctor, an anesthesiologist, whatever it is that you do, an investment banker. What is that profession? And are you passionate about it? When I was working on helicopters, even out of the Marine Corps as a civilian, I worked in helicopters for just shy of 30 years. I was very, very passionate about it. I loved it until I started working for an EMS company, and they sucked the life right out of me, which is why I got out of the helicopter business. Okay. I lost that passion. But for years, I had extreme passion about it. So do you have passion? Now, quick question. If I came from the helicopter world, would there be an opportunity for a profession inside that world that I could connect with to raise capital from? Anybody think of something inside the aviation world that would fit?
Pilots.
Hmm.
I was a flight attendant for 20 years, so have lots of friends in the airline industry that are retiring right now.
Yeah. So if they've been saving pilots, the pilots don't meet the accredited investor rule by annual salary. They could possibly meet it by net worth. So
Hmm.
you'd have to be careful with that. But what about aircraft owners,
Yeah.
helicopter
I don't know
owners?
any of those, but
Okay. Uh, if you go to a what they call it an FBO at an airport where all the private planes are, you have all these owners that go out and they fly these planes. You have a flight school. What about the flight school owner? What about the owner of the hangars? Probably already in real estate, and they're probably ground leasing from the airport. You guys know those hangars, especially the T hangars and some of the bigger ones. Those are usually put together in a syndication from pilots.
huh, that's great information.
Interesting, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise could afford an investment. You think he might be able to afford 50,000 Irish? All right. So, are you passionate about it? Obviously, when I was in aviation, I was passionate about it. Do the people in that profession make enough money? Well, we can identify multiple professions inside of aviation where they probably make enough money. Again, they don't have to meet the annual salary. It's either the annual salary or the net worth requirement for accredited investor. And remember, it could also be household, husband, wife. Okay. But again, we're not going to talk about those rules right now. So, what are your hobbies? Okay. Aviation obviously was also a hobby for me, but I also have other hobbies like my hot rods. Okay. Now, people might think that you have to have a lot of money to have a hot rod. Okay. Not necessarily, especially if you're in my hot rod world where we're building rat rods. We just build these things ourselves. I just completely rebuilt my rat rod. Now I can't keep oil in the oil pan, but at least it's running. Um, but if you're into boats or maybe yachts or sailboats, the bigger sailboats like a trimaran or something like that, you own aircraft or you're in the AAOA, American Aircraft Owners Association, you're into hot rods. Some of the bigger hot rods or nicer hot rods, like a 1967 fastback Mustang. Who knows what the nickname is for that Mustang? Anyone?
The 66.
The 67 fastback. It was in the movie Gone in 60 Seconds.
Ooh.
It was Nicolas Cage's Huckleberry. Eleanor. You guys don't know that? See, I'm a car guy. If you were a car person, you would understand that. And those cars, even though like just a 1967 coupe, um, nice one, restored, 15, $20,000. A fastback restored to its original, you're talking $200,000. And I think the movie Gone in not just Gone in 60 Seconds, but also in the first Fast Five, Fast and the Furious, that Mustang that Vin Diesel destroys at the end of the movie, that was a 67 Fastback. I don't know what it is with Eleanor, but they love to destroy these cars in the movies. But anyway, golf's another big one. All right, but same thing. Are you passionate about it? And do the people in the hobby make enough money? Okay, so obviously we can determine that from being involved in these things. Who else can we connect with? Well, what about your social clubs? Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis, Shriners, if you belong to any of these, more than likely the people that are in these clubs are philanthropists or they're wanting to give back to the community. Um, a lot of them are business owners. So you probably have a lot of really good relationships within these clubs. If you don't belong to one of these clubs already, I would highly recommend looking into that. You might find some golden nuggets. All right. Again, are you passionate about it? And do the people in the club make enough money to be able to invest in your deals? Okay. Any questions on who we connect with? All righty then. So how do we find investors willing to invest with us? Well, we can do online advertising, 506C only. Again, we're not going to go into the rules of 506B, 506C, Reg A, Reg CF, all that stuff. We're not going to go into any of that. And you can use Google AdWords, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads. If you want to learn any of that stuff, I've got the strategic acquisition workshop. We'll be covering this in detail, but goes beyond the scope of what we're doing today. We're not going to talk about running ads. Say thank you, everybody, because that would be a course all in itself, and nobody wants to sit through that. Trust me. Okay. You could build social profiles. You're welcome, Cedric. You could build social profiles. Facebook profile should be your first and foremost. Now, I get this all the time. Because as a CCIM instructor, I teach all the asset classes from retail, industrial, office, self-storage, hotel, doesn't matter. Multifamily, it's irrelevant. It's commercial real estate. Most people in the commercial real estate industry that are not in multifamily believe that their target market is not on Facebook. All right, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Bullshit. Excuse me. There are 4
Bless
billion.
you.
Thank you. There are 4 billion people on Facebook. Do you know how many people are on Facebook daily? Daily active users. Do you know what the number is? Anyone? Take a guess.
Are you counting all the dead Democrats that vote too?
Okay, don't turn this political, Sean.
3 billion.
Close. 2 billion. Half.
Wow.
2 billion people on a daily basis are thumbing through the feeds, okay? Scrolling through the groups, communicating, building relationships. So you're going to tell me that none of those are commercial real estate owners? None of those are commercial real estate investors? Come on now. Okay? Again, I'm not going to sneeze again, but you get the point. All right? People are on Facebook. I know the younger generation doesn't want to be on Facebook. You're missing the boat if you're not utilizing Facebook for your real estate business. For that matter, any business. It doesn't matter what it is. Right? So if you want to keep your Facebook profile personal and you don't want to put your business on Facebook, your current profile at all, Facebook allows you to have more than one profile. I have 3. Okay. One I just created recently. And you now have the ability to churn your profile. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Does anybody know this? You can take your profile from a personal profile, click 3 little dots on your profile, and if you scroll down towards the bottom, it can say churn into professional mode or churn on professional mode. When you churn on professional mode, you're no longer limited to 5,000 connections. You're still limited to 5,000 friends, but you're no longer limited to 5,000 connections because now you can have followers and there is no limit to the amount of followers you can have. All right. So if you want to keep your current profile personal, great. Create another profile and make it a professional profile and use it for your real estate business. Was I frozen for everybody or just Rebecca? Anyone?
Just
Sure,
me,
you were good.
sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Again, I'm worried about weather because our weather is really, really bad here today. So if you do see this, then you know I've probably froze. All right. So Facebook profile, make it a professional profile. This also gives you the analytics. Oh, back to the technology here. But you want to keep your header image personal. Okay. Oh, Kevin, who knows how many are accredited? There's no way of knowing that number. Make the profile. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm so glad you're talking about this. If I want to create a Facebook page or profile, I'm not sure which one, but keep it separate from my family and friends right now, do I create a page, David, or is it a profile for my business?
You only need to create a page if you plan to run ads. That's the only thing pages are good for now. Pages are worthless other than running ads. If you're going to run ads on Facebook, you must have a page. Okay.
Okay, so I don't plan on doing ads. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to do the profile then, but keep it separate from my family and friends.
I'm going to show you in just a second.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So make it professional, keep the header image personal. Now, let me show you what I mean. So this is my David Monroe CCIM profile. You may have in the past seen it where it had this image up on my personal profile. Okay. That's not a good thing. The reason you want something personal, it's me and my granddaughter. She just turned 10. We're working on my hot rod. The reason you want to make it look personal is because we want people that we friend request to accept our friend request or at least be able to follow us. And if we're overloading them with all this business stuff and all they see is business on the header, and notice I'm in a coat in my profile picture, and if I had a whole bunch of links down here to all the businesses I've ever owned and a bunch of links here with calls to action and everything else, then that's a deterrent. This person's obviously trying to sell me something. But if it's personal and you mix some personal with some professional in your personal profile, even if it is a professional in professional mode, you will have more people that will accept your friend request and connect with you. The more people we have, the better chance we have of raising capital. Now, how do you turn your personal profile professional? These three little dots right here, you just click them. And you'll notice right here, it says turn off professional mode. Well, obviously mine is turned on, so I don't want to turn it off. So you'll go from showing friends here and it'll turn into followers. It doesn't mean you don't still have friends. You do. It just means that people that are following you, if they friend you, they're automatically following you. When you run out of friends, you can't have any more friends, then they just become followers. Again, it's unlimited. And you can see I've got tools here that I can view analytics of posts. Okay. So you don't have this in a personal profile. And we want these analytics because we want people to be able to engage with us. Now, if you did not see this post today, pay attention to those that think the interest rates are going to come down. 10-year treasury today, actually, prior to coming on, I checked, it was up 18.6 basis points today. Okay, 10 minutes prior to coming on to this. Inflation announced this morning, 0.4% month over month, 3.5% year over year. And at the same time, when I checked it, 1 hour to go on today's market, Dow was down 500 points because of it. Okay, if you believe the Fed is going to lower interest rates this year, you're living in a fantasy land. Get out of that belief. Enough about that. Okay, just a little side note there. All right, back to the presentation. Okay, that's your Facebook profile. Simple to do, but it's necessary because this is how you're going to start the conversation and communicate. Now, with Facebook groups, we'll be able to move them over to our CRM, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Next, you have your LinkedIn profile. Here, we definitely want to keep it professional. Okay, you do not have to personalize a LinkedIn profile because LinkedIn is a professional network where people are expecting to find professional contacts. I'm trying to mute my phone here. Give me a second. There it goes. All right. You'll see it in the recording, Susan. We don't have time to go backwards. All right. So you want to keep your LinkedIn profile professional. All right. I don't have my LinkedIn profile up, and it's no different than your personal profile. Difference is you've got this about section. You want to make sure that that about section is about what you do in business. If you're mixing your real estate with your profession, it's okay to talk about it inside your about section. I would even include in your tagline or, for me, multifamily investor, strategic consultant, CCIM instructor, kind of Dave Monroe CCIM, and that's what I do. You can include your profession and that you are a multifamily investor. Ironically enough, you would not believe how many vain people, and if you're one of them, I apologize, that actually put accredited investor in their tagline on their LinkedIn profile. They make it very easy to search them. It's crazy. All right. Continuing to find investors, we have online groups. Okay, this is very, very powerful. Facebook groups being the most powerful. People don't hang out in LinkedIn groups. Okay, they might check them every once in a while and they might get a notification from a group, but they don't hang out like they do on Facebook in groups. In Facebook, we have the ability to build a private or a public community. We want to make it private. One of the things I've learned recently is that if you create a public community, then you'll get tire kickers that'll come in there, other competitors that'll come in there, and they'll try to swipe your contacts from you. It creates chaos. So just go ahead and create a private group. And one of the things about being able to create a private group is being able to ask questions, and I'll cover this in a minute, so that we can collect some contact information, which is the most important thing that we can have. And I'll cover groups here in just a second on Facebook. So an example that you would use for creating community, again, we don't want to showcase our business. Okay, so Sean has a company called TWT Multifamily. If he were to create a Facebook group, it probably would not be beneficial to create a Facebook group called TWT Multifamily. Now, if he wants to create a Facebook page for his business for TWT Multifamily, that would be fine. But for a group, people aren't gathering inside a community to learn about that business unless it's a technology or something like that. People are gathering inside that community to talk about what it is that the subject is of that community. So a good example of a title for a community could be Community for High Net Worth Professionals. It's broad. It invites people to come in. It doesn't say I'm trying to sell you anything. You could even add in investing strategies for high net worth professionals, time management strategies for high net worth professionals, although you're starting to get a little specific and could be considered salesy a little bit. But if it's just community, now high net worth people can get together and just have conversations about what's going on with them, what struggles they're having, what time management issues they may have. They love to invest but don't have the time to, all the things that we go through when we talk to passive investors. So this is the ability to start to build your presence and your expertise inside that community. And if you do the right things on your personal profile, which is in professional mode, then the people that you connect with, you can now invite them over to your Facebook group. A good strategy, and I'll just throw this in here really quick, little sidebar. One of the strategies you want to do, and I started using this recently and it's very powerful, is working really well, is the Facebook algorithm loves people communicating. And yes, they are monitoring your messenger. If you don't think they are, you're living in a fantasy land, kind of like you believe interest rates are coming down. You're living in a fantasy land. So what Facebook likes to see is when you make a connection, they like to see a conversation start to happen inside of Messenger. So after you make that connection, send them a welcome message. Hey, Susan, thank you for connecting with me. Hope you have a successful week. That's the exact message I send to everybody that accepts a connection request with me now. If somebody wants to connect with you and you accept that friend request, don't wait for them to do it. You jump right in. Hey, appreciate the the request to connect with you. Hope you're having a great week. Just spark a conversation. Facebook sees this, and now they're more likely to show your post. So if you post something that is a leader to your Facebook group, people are more than likely to engage with it, and then you can attempt to move them over. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, provide more value than you take, okay? There's a saying, and I learned this from a guy named Alex Hormozy, who wrote probably one of the greatest lead generation books ever written, called $100 Million Leads. Give, ask. Do you guys know where this formula came from? Give 75%, ask 25%. Do you know where this formula is? And it's really like
Napoleon Hill.
It was not. And it's really like 29%. So have you ever noticed when you're watching a 30-minute TV show that there's approximately 3 to 4 commercials during that 30-minute time slot? So and I think it's like 11 and a half or 12 and a half minutes, there's a commercial. And it ends up being 71% content or the show, 29% commercial. And this has been going on for years, decades in the broadcast world. Okay, that's where the give, ask came from. When you're scrolling Facebook, just your profile, your what do they call it? The I guess it's the home screen. When you're scrolling, not in groups, post, ad, post, ad, post, ad. Everybody notice that? It's identical. Give, ask. You're going through YouTube. You don't have YouTube premium. And you see a video, and the next video you have an ad. Video, next video you have an ad. You're scrolling through the feed in YouTube. Video, ad. Video, ad. Okay? Same premise. It doesn't matter what the medium is. Give, ask. Now, one thing Alex Hormozy does say, and I really believe in this, and it's powerful, is give until they ask. Now that's powerful. And if you can do that, now you've learned discipline. I'm not there yet. I tend to ask too often. It is what it is. You guys know you're here. Okay? Here's the important part. Give in public, ask in private. How many people have ever seen me sell anything that know me in the public forum on Facebook or anywhere else? Maybe once. I think I did one time a couple of years ago. I do not sell in the public forum. I give. Even though there was a call to action to get on this training, am I not giving? Has this not been 98% value so far? And I say 98% because I spent a couple of minutes on me, who I was, and that's not giving, that's taking, because you were learning something about me. Other than that, this has been pure content. This is give. This is the give part. Okay. Now, at the end of this presentation, I will have a small offer. All right. There's my ask. So I'm going to give 95%. I'm going to ask 5%. Okay. That's my give in public, ask in private. Right. Everybody understand that? Same thing when it comes to raising capital. Give. Do not ask in public unless it's an ad. But even in an ad, you probably want to get in some kind of leader to get them into your community so they can learn about you before you make that ask. And then you make that ask in private. That is extremely important. All right. Continuing with Facebook groups, private group to build community. Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah.
David.
Yes. Go ahead.
David.
Yes.
David, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Sorry. I just want to make sure on the Facebook group, as you can see, for my business yet, I don't want my family and friends to know quite yet. So I'm going to create a profile. Now you were talking about friends and then followers. If I make it through the profile and not a page, as you say, does it alert them like on Instagram or, you know, sometimes Facebook when you post a new thumbnail or a new picture at the top, it alerts them saying, hey, so-and-so has changed their profile picture. Will it let them know, like, now I have a business feature and then they're going to see all my business things? Because if then I'm just going to get a page.
Aaron, if you create a separate profile, it's only going to show that information to the people that you've connected with on that profile. All the
So
friends
not,
that you have on
okay.
your current profile will not automatically move over. You have to invite them.
Perfect. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, the invite. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. All right. So private group to build community. We talked about that and I'll show it here in a minute. You're allowed to ask up to 3 questions for approval. This is extremely important. Okay. And there is a tool that you can use that will automate getting your people that come into your Facebook group into your CRM, which we can now begin to follow up with them in private. We can take it out of the public forum and we can start to message them privately. Okay. These 3 questions are very, very important. First one usually is what's troubling you the most? What struggles do you have? Are you accredited, not accredited? It could be anything, right? Doesn't matter what that first question is. The second question is the most important question, and that is from time to time, we give extreme value. We hold live training. We do this, we do that. If you would like something like that, then please provide your best email address below. When they give you that email address, if you connect it to this tool I'm about to tell you about, it will automatically add your contact into Acquisition Pro if you're using Acquisition Pro as your database. Okay. The third question could just be, can I reach out to you privately about some of our investment offerings? Or you could say, hey, I've got this great thing that I'd love to send to you right away. Give me your best cell phone number below, or give me your cell phone number below, and I'll text it to you right away. And that's a way for them to it's a way for you to get the phone number. The problem is that phone number, when it comes into Acquisition Pro, is going to come in as a custom field, or any database. Doesn't matter if it's Acquisition Pro or Kartra or Groove or any of them. Active Campaigns are relevant. It's going to come in as a custom field, and it will not fill the primary phone number field, which is the only single challenge I see with GroupKit, which is how we automate our leads. Let's see. Abdullah says, just to make sure you get to privacy, then hit do not allow contact, especially when you're logged in from your phone. Abdullah, not sure what you're asking. Can you be a little more specific or maybe rephrase what you're asking?
No, I'm just answering a question that Frego just asked, if her contacts will know about her doing another Facebook account.
Oh,
so
yeah. That's on them, though. You have no control over that. If they don't allow those messages, then they won't see it. But again, from what she was asking, she was wanting to know her current contacts in her personal profile. If she creates a new profile, will those contacts see any of those changes? And the answer is no.
Now, I think what he's saying, David, is if you create the new profile and you're on your phone, a lot of times Facebook will ask to connect to the contacts in your phone.
Oh, yeah. No, I never do that.
Yeah, I never do that either.
No.
That's correct. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. Don't give Facebook that much power. All right. So I'm not going to go into showing you GroupKit and all that. That goes beyond the scope of this. Please research GroupKit. If you want me to send you a link, I can get paid for it. I'm not going to put it in the chat for you. If you want me to get paid for it, that'd be great. It's actually really affordable. I think it's only like $300 something a year. Well worth it. I very much enjoy paying them $300 something a year to be able to automate that process. And then use free training or other sources for those that do not fill out those questions, and you can either deny them if they don't or approve them. I always approve as long as they check the box that says they agree to the rules of the group. If they don't do anything and they just request it, and then they don't answer any questions or agree to the rules, then I deny them. Yeah, there'll be a replay, Aaron. You'll get it in an email tomorrow morning, more than likely. Or it may go out this afternoon. Depends on if my weather holds up or not. All right. So this masterclass, I posted this in my Facebook group. Some people that are new to that Facebook group and don't really know a lot about me signed up for this masterclass. They got added to my email database. Okay. Others that joined my group, they came through GroupKit. They got added to my email database. And so they were emailed this masterclass, even though the only interaction they've ever had with me is in a Facebook group. Okay. So it's very, very powerful to use GroupKit and to use Facebook groups to be able to build your database of investors. All right. Continuing on how to find investors. Let's talk about LinkedIn, having a LinkedIn group. Now, it's going to mirror your Facebook group, identical. Doesn't just make it absolutely identical, even duplicate all the posts. Again, people in LinkedIn are not hanging out on LinkedIn, but you want to have something there for those that check it, especially for credibility. And as passive or for those that raise capital, there is this big stigma that's been put out there. If you don't have a huge website and you don't do this and you don't do that, nobody's going to invest with you. It's crap. That's not true. Does it help? Sure. But people are smart enough to know to ask questions. They know how to research people. Websites aren't going to make or break you. Just know that. Okay. All right. Before we continue on, let me jump into Facebook groups here real quick. So if I go to my groups, now for those that came into multifamily investing strategies for beginners, I have recently changed the name. Okay. Multifamily investing fundamentals with a data-driven approach. All right. I really wanted to say using a data-driven approach, but once I change the name, I can't change it again for 28 days. So it will say using a data-driven approach, but right now it just says with. All right. So here's my header image. Okay, a little bit more professional. But again, does it talk about anything I do other than giving away free education to people that are trying to learn using a data-driven approach with fundamental principles? No, it's just this. Now, if you click on it, there's some more here, and there are call to actions to send you to my YouTube channel. But other than that, it's all value, 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 value. If we come down, you can see that here's my ask. So I got give and I have ask. I don't have the right ratio. I probably have more asks than I do gives, but you know, I'm working on it. Okay. It takes a lot of discipline to be able to do that. But this is a group. They're really easy to create. Make it attractive for somebody to come in. All right. I have another group that I recently created. I think it's on this one. Let me look. See more. Well, no, I don't have it here. That's all right. I've just created another group inside of my profile, my other profile, that right now it's public. I'm getting ready to change it to private. And it just says community for online businesses and entrepreneurs, a place to network, connect, build relationships, and provide value. Okay, that's it. That's all that image says for that group. Okay, so it's a place for people to build community. Let them communicate. Let them build community. Now you've got to watch it, especially in the real estate world. You'll get the scammers that'll come in and try to sell you loans that don't exist and all this other stuff. So you got to kick them out. But other than that, let people do what they want to do in these groups to a reason. Okay. So that's Facebook groups. Now, when you can, and let me show you my questions. So membership questions. In order to come into the group, It says, welcome. We're dedicated to helping real estate investors build lasting relationships and get their first multifamily deal. What do you think the biggest thing is holding you back of your goals in multifamily? And then I ask them to answer. Now, this gets added to the CRM as a custom field. What's your best email address to send you top trainings to get you started off on the right foot? Disclaimer, from time to time, we may send material that we think you'll love. They put in their, and I get about 80% of people will put in their email address. And then the last one just says, we specialize in helping people do mentoring, things like that. Can we direct message you? Just type in yes or no. All right. And then the whole purpose of this is this one right here, to get this email address. Then GroupKit, which is a extension in Google Chrome. There it is right there. GroupKit will, and do I have any pending? I don't have any memberships pending. GroupKit will, when you approve it, will automatically add that to your database. The other one in LinkedIn, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, so I won't go there yet. All right. You can also use online tools to automate your lead generation. Okay. Again, Facebook is GroupKit. Okay. That's what those 3 questions are for. They answer the question number 2 with their email. It automatically adds them to your database. For LinkedIn prospecting, we have Linked Helper. Again, people aren't hanging out on LinkedIn. They're probably not joining a lot of groups. If they do, they don't ever go back. If you've ever noticed, people that post in those groups are always the same, maybe 5 to 10 people. Nobody else posts or comments or does anything inside those groups. Not a very efficient way to do things, but it is a way to continue to build your credibility by adding content to it that you've already created. But for your LinkedIn prospecting, Linked Helper is amazing. I churn it on in the morning and I churn it off in the afternoon. And I don't touch LinkedIn all day long. And during the day, it will go in and it will send 50 connection requests with notes to people that I selected a list from in Navigator. Now, Navigator is to get best results with it, you want to use Navigator. So there's a little extra cost to that. But when I tell Linked Helper I want to use this list in Navigator, and you have up to 1,000 people on a list, it goes and sends 50 connection requests a day, and it always sends a note with it. Then it will respond, or ones that connected, it will then go in and send a message to them. So it's like an automated direct message tool. So it will send them that first message, try to be conversational with that message. And then you can create follow-up messages beyond that. When somebody responds in that direct message, it stops Linked Helper. That's where it stops. Or you can stop it by only sending a certain number. I've tested it. I've tried 3, I've tried 4, I've tried 5 messages, and I've done 2. 2 seems to work best. The first being conversational and the second being my value proposition. That seems to work best using Linked Helper, but it does all the work for me. I don't have to do anything but turn it on in the morning, turn it off in the afternoon. That's it. That's all I do with it. So it automates my LinkedIn prospecting. And of course, there's a link in the value proposition to get them to jump over to my website and with a lead magnet to get them onto my email list. And so I gather leads, I collect leads for Acquisition Pro via LinkedIn. And right now I'm doing it with real estate professionals. So that's how I'm using Linked Helper. Again, just look up it's Linked Helper 2 right now, I believe is the current tool. Just look it up on Google. If you want to give me some free months with Linked Helper, then just ask me for the link. I'd be glad to give it to you. But I'm not going to throw it in the chat or anything. You can email me later or just look it up on Google. That's fine too. Okay. Any questions about Facebook or LinkedIn groups? All right. Continuing, how to find investors, list brokers. Okay, we seem to forget about these. You can find investors by NAICS code, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Okay, you can look all the way down to a 6-digit code. Now, it's still pretty generic at the 6-digit level. If you want to learn what NAICS is, that's the North American Industrial Classification System. It was created under the Clinton administration under NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. 5 of the 6 digits are the exact same. These are employer industries. These are industry codes. They're identical for all 3 countries in the first, up to the first 5 digits. You have the 2-digit, 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit, 6-digit. They all have their names. I'm not going to go through all the different names of what they're called. The 6th digit is country specific. But with NAICS, even though NAICS is fluid, meaning it's constantly changing, it's still really general, even all the way at the 6-digit level. So an example here would be 621111. That would be the NAICS code for physicians or doctors. Now that's non-mental health. So anything mental health would be 621112. But that could be nurses, that could be nurse practitioners, that could be hospitals, administrators, you name it. That's everything under hospitals, medical office buildings, family practitioners, everything under that NAICS code. Or you can search by SIC code. That is the standard industrial classification. That was the standard prior to NAICS coming along. NAICS has all but removed SIC, but SIC has not been replaced. It is still there, but it has not been updated in a long time because of the updates that come out with NAICS. SIC is a 7-digit code. Okay, now we can go a little bit more granular. So now I can just search neurosurgeons using 8011173. Okay, you guys want to see an example of that? This is pretty cool. As a CCIM, I have access to Site to Do Business. Inside Site to Do Business, we have access to a tool called DataView, which is Database USA, if you've ever heard of it. Inside Database USA, I can search by major industry groups. So if I pull all this down, here are the major industry groups. And if you notice, a lot of these are very similar to what you will find in the Bureau of Labor Statistics under QCEW, which is the Quarterly Census of Employment and Wages. If you've ever seen Module 4 of the Strategic Acquisition Workshop, you'll understand what I'm talking about, okay? So when we look at the major industry groups and we look at services and we open that up, now we have the different services. So now this is the 2-digit SIC code. So here's health services. So I open that one up. And then I've got, if I close that, you can see all of the health services codes. Now, if I open up offices and clinics of doctors of medicine, now I can search the 7-digit codes. And if I do Control F on my screen and I just type in surgery and I start to search that, now I find all the surgeons, the codes for just the surgeons. And if I keep coming down, here's neurological surgery. There are 558 businesses in the United States that do neurological surgery. That's what this says. And then I can hit search and it will bring up the contact information for all those companies, including all of the executives. And usually the surgeon themselves is usually one of the executives. And so now you've got their name, their business phone, not their cell phone, what they do, their specialty, their address, what the name of the company is, company information, their income from the company, all of this information, including the contact information for the executives, including their mailing address, their email address, and that's really what we need. Their first name, last name, email, phone number. Remember that? First name, last name, email, phone number. That's all we need for our database. But now you have all this information you can extract. I am allowed to extract up to 1,000 records at a time for every search. Okay. So the more granular you get, the smaller the count. If I eliminate neurosurgeons and I just search all of 8011, the offices and clinics of doctors of medicine, which would be the same as the NAICS code, and I hit update count, you'll see it's going to go to 1.6 million companies in the United States are under Office of Clinic of Doctors of Medicine. So you can now utilize these lists to upload to whatever database you're using. In my case, obviously, it's going to be Acquisition Pro. And now you can send them that first email, which we're getting ready to talk about, which is how to churn cold emails into warm leads. Now, remember, you're getting an office phone number with the phone numbers for these lists. And it doesn't matter what list you get it from. In this case, I just get it from Database USA. But wherever you get it, more than likely, it's not going to be a cell phone. You could probably skip trace the information with some good skip tracers. Be very, very careful. There are a lot of bad ones out there. And maybe get some cell phones, but you still don't have permission to call them. So instead, just churn that cold email into a warm lead by sending them an email first and then getting them to fill out a form on your website that asks for that cell phone number. Okay. And now they agree to receive SMS messages. So you remember the list we uploaded from our contacts earlier, or this list from Database USA? Now we can tag these leads to start the automation within our workflows. Okay. Andrew asked, what's the cost per surgeon record? Andrew, there's no cost to me for that. I pay CCIM $695 a year to be a member, and I get access to that tool for free. Now, for all of you that aren't CCIMs, don't you think it might be worth it? Huh. I don't know. Possibly. I have it. Let's see. Is he still here? Stony, you still here? Stony may have left. I don't know if he's still here or not.
I'm here.
There he is. Stony is a CCIM. Stony has free access to that tool. Have you ever used Database USA, Stony, for this?
I have. Yes.
Pretty powerful.
Very good. Yes, and there's more tools besides that too.
There's many,
obviously.
But for this class,
yes,
that was very specific. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you chiming in. Okay. So now that we've uploaded this list, now we can tag our leads to start the automation workflow. So we send an email to the investor leads to entice them to download something of value. Something I like to do, and something I include when you become a member of Acquisition Pro, I include a landing page, a thank you page, and a lead magnet for off-market owners. If that's who you're searching, I give you my quick value calculator, which could be valuable to anybody. You can determine value in less than 5 minutes. And for investors, if you're searching for qualified investors, then I give you my sponsor vetting checklist, which a lot of investors are always asking the question, how do I know if I've got the right sponsor or not? So that may be something very attractive to them to give you the permission to be able to SMS them, because that's what we're looking for. Here's the key, folks. We can get them to SMSs. It will trigger our AI, and wait till you see how we use that. It is totally cool. So if they give us their name, email, and phone number, now we can send them not only an email, but we can also SMS them as warm leads. And that's a text message. For those that don't know SMS, those are text messages. You are not allowed, as of September 1st, 2023, you are no longer allowed to send cold SMS messages. It is a violation of the FCC. Okay, you cannot do it. The cell phone companies lobbied, and they won. So you can no longer do that. They are now treating it like the no-call list for those who understand the no-call list. You do not want to be in violation of that. All right. So if not, the automation continues to send timely email messages to get them to respond. So in my automations, they get that first email and then there's an if else statement. If they fill out the form, it removes them out of that workflow, adds them into a brand new workflow that will now include SMS messages. If they do not fill out the form, it just continues to send the email messages to try to elicit a response or a scheduled appointment. And I'll show you how all this works in just a second. As a matter of fact, why don't we go see what it looks like right now? So let's jump in and take a look at this. All right. So here is Acquisition Pro, and we'll go into Conversation AI shortly. In contacts, and there shouldn't be any contacts here. Please don't be any contacts. Okay, just me. YouTube, when you see this video, this is my contact information, and I give permission for people to see this information. Please do not delete this video because of this contact information. Okay, there goes that disclaimer. Because they will. They'll yank a video if they see contact information. All right. So all I have to do if I want to upload the list of contacts is I just go right here and I import contacts. Now, I have videos to show you how to do this. I'm not going to go through that right now. This is not a full demo or anything like that. Just know here is where we can upload those contacts. All right.
Do you can you upload it from Excel or from Outlook or what?
You're going to upload it from a CSV file. Okay. So,
okay.
If you can export your contacts out of Gmail into a Google Sheet, you can then download that Google Sheet as an XLS document and then churn it into a CSV file from there. A lot of steps, but it is a way to be able to do it, right? So what happens once they are all in here, and let's say you have, I don't know what was in that list, 500 and something doctors, you've got them all in here. Now we can click this. It defaults to 20 records per page. You can do it so it will pull up to 100 records per page. You don't want to do more than that anyway, especially with a new account. You want to warm up the account first. But once everything is set up inside Acquisition Pro, we just do this. And now we can just add a tag. So I can go here and I can search tag. And I just want to search investors. So I can do investor cold. And if I do investor cold, action is, it just wants you to agree that this is what you want to do, hit add, and now the workflow will start. So they get that first email. So if I go into my automation and we go into the investor cold campaign, go into new leads, you will see that the very first email that is sent after a bunch of things that it does, don't worry about all that. That is for future education. It sends this email, how to protect your multifamily investment, and basically entices them. Click here to download the sponsor vetting checklist. All right. Now, obviously, the link's not here right now because you are going to have your own domain here to put this at. All that, I show you how to do all that inside Acquisition Pro. But now they can download. What it's going to do is take them to the landing page where that sponsor vetting checklist is. So if I come out and I go to sites, under funnels, there's my investor leads. And here is our sponsor vetting checklist. So they give us our name, email, and phone. Hit yes, please send me my free thing. I agree to SMS. And then here they can download it. Okay. That is how we trigger them to be able to now SMS them. So if we go back to automation, and I'm almost finished here, back to cold. Now, those that do fill out that form in the next 7 days, because I had to wait 7 days, if they do fill it out, it removes them from this workflow, removes the tag, and removes them from this opportunity, and adds them to B001, which is for opt-in. If they do not fill out the form, then it just continues to send them just emails for the next 6 weeks. Okay. And that's how these workflows work. It's all automated. Everything gets moved automatically. We're not even into AI yet. Wait till you see how the AI works. All right. But now we've got permission to SMS them. Okay. That's how taking them from a cold list to actually a warm lead extremely powerful. There isn't another tool on the market that will do this for you. You can do this in other tools. They just don't show you how to do it or do it for you. I do it for you. Okay. So now let's talk about AI. Any questions about anything we've covered so far? Are you guys ready to finally get into the meat of this? What we're supposed to be talking about this whole time, David? Damn, you waited an hour and 20 minutes to even use the word AI. Okay.
Well, let's get on with it.
Finish this, will you? All right. First and foremost, SEC has banned conversational voice AI for raising capital. Who did not know that? I'm going to guess most people here did not know that. Do you know where the most popular voice AI is right now? And you don't have to answer that. It's a tool called Air AI. Very, very powerful tool. And I was loving what it could do. And then the SEC came out and said this. And that's exactly what voice AI is Air AI. It is extremely powerful. If you're using voice AI, and I'll go into some of the other legal aspects in a second about it, pick the Australian female voice. It has the most conversational tone I have found with all of the they call them agents, the Air AI agents. The female Australian was the best, and so I called her Jennifer. I called her Jennifer because, and I'll show you in a minute, I still call my text AI Jennifer because I'm a big Jennifer Aniston fan. It is what it is. With my wife, that's my hall pass. If you guys remember the movie Hall Pass, Jennifer Aniston's my hall pass. I'll never get to claim my hall pass, but you know, and we're only a month apart from each other in age. Okay, so SEC has banned conversational voice AI for raising capital. So you cannot use Air AI to raise capital. Be very, very careful with that. You do not want to get caught doing this. The FCC has banned conversational voice AI for calls to cell phones and home numbers. Sorry about your luck, Air AI, but I don't know how you're going to get around this one. There are some exceptions to this, but the exceptions are so stringent, you really aren't going to get around it. So, one of the problems is you can use voice AI to a cell phone or a home number, but they first must agree explicitly to receive those voice AI calls, and there cannot be any call to action or offer in the call. It must be conversational only. The only exception to that, go figure, is political calls from like the police fund, your senator trying to get reelected, stuff like that. That's the only exception, and from a nonprofit. That's it. Those are your exceptions. So you are pretty much toast using voice AI if your numbers are to cell phones or home phones, which is pretty much everybody. Now, if you're doing B2B and you are calling on HR directors or chief operating officers or CEOs or something like that, and you're calling office phone numbers, you can use Air AI all day long. There are no limitations to that right now. Google. How many know about this? This actually just came into effect March 28th. Google is now penalizing websites that have content created from AI. You think Google might actually know their algorithm? You think they might actually be able to tell whether it was written with AI or not, considering Google owns Bard? Anybody disagree with that? So the latest update from the Google algorithm for search is if you have used any copy and paste AI generated content on your website, you will not be displayed in the search results. So the big boys are punishing us for using AI. And I think it's because it's hitting the industry so hard and so fast. People are trying to reel it in to get a better understanding of it. Yeah, it's crazy, Rebecca. Okay. So as of right now, and again, this can change, as far as I know, we haven't seen this yet, Facebook is still allowing AI content and posts. So you can do an AI image and you can do an AI post that was generated in AI, and Facebook will still show that. They are more interested in the conversation and the connection than they are the content itself. Because if the people are engaging with that content, Facebook feels its quality. Okay. So as of right now, we still can do that with Facebook. Expect more regulations and restrictions to come, I am sure. I mean, the more this happens, the more this goes, you'll start to see this come down the pike. But for right now, be very, very careful using Air AI or any kind of voice AI. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're raising capital, calling on owners, doesn't matter what it is, selling cars, selling medical devices, I don't care what it is. If you're calling a cell phone or a home phone, do not use voice AI, okay? It has been banned. All right. Well, if that's banned, how in the world are we supposed to use AI? Let's talk about that, shall we? Because there is a way to do it. Oh, is it fun and cool? All right, how to use AI to schedule an appointment. Now, one of the problems we have in this business, for a lot of you that are on this call, you probably have W-2s. And you don't have time to sit and do Facebook posts, and you don't have time to sit and do YouTube videos, and you don't have time to message this person and that person and send this email and make this phone call. You don't have time to do all this, okay? So there are ways to let the automations and AI do the work for you. And this is what Acquisition Pro and the Strategic Acquisition specializes in. Okay, conversational AI bot. Now that's text, not voice. The conversational text AI bot will automatically schedule an appointment for you using your calendar without sending a link. Not a leak, a link. Now, built into Acquisition Pro is your own calendar. You do not need Calendly or any other calendar system. And it will integrate with your Google or your Outlook calendar. Use your website link and frequently ask questions to train the AI. That doesn't make sense to you at the moment. It's okay. I'm going to show you in a second. Test, trial the AI for accuracy and make changes to responses to continue to train it. And the more you train it, the better the responses will be. Wait till you see how easy this is. This is like when I learned how to do this and I started using it, I actually had somebody engage with it today. It's like, whew, this is fun stuff. Okay. So don't worry about what you see here. I'm going to show you. All right. We'll get there in a second. So using AI, you can use AI in your website chat widget. Again, I'll show you what the chat widget looks like in a second. It's built into Acquisition Pro. You could put it on any website you have. The website doesn't even have to be built inside Acquisition Pro. It could be a WordPress site. It could be a Wix site, any of those sites, because you can get an iframe code or a JavaScript code and be able to put that on those sites so you still have your chat widget. So within the chat widget, you can set it up so it is a live chat or an SMS chat. I like to use SMS chat. Okay. And then what happens is when somebody engages that chat widget, it responds with the AI via their text. And it even tells them, if you set it up right, please leave your question here. Need your name, your phone number, and your email. Give me your question, and I will text you the response within a few minutes. And then AI will then take over and do that text. So any way we can get them into a text message, even if you're doing live chat, we can do live chat so they stay right on the website and don't move to their phone. And the AI tool will work right on their browser. We have a function called missed call text back. So if you phone me, utilizing my VoIP phone number that I have for Acquisition Pro, you've probably seen my missed call text back. What that means is when somebody calls and you don't answer, a text message gets sent about 2 minutes later that says, now what it used to say before I started using the AI tool, hey, this is David Monroe with Premier Apartment Services doing businesses as Acquisition Pro. I see I missed your call. What can I do to help you? So I never lose a lead. Now I'm holding a text conversation with that prospect that tried calling me. Now, it could have been a sales call. It could have been a scam call. It could have been any of that. But if it was a prospect, I didn't miss that opportunity. But now we can use, because it's a text message, now if they respond to that message, AI can take over right away based on what they say. You can also use AI with Facebook and Instagram direct messages. Now, currently, Facebook just did an update for their groups, and there's a disconnect between groups and Acquisition Pro. You can still use Instagram, and you can still use Pages direct message. You cannot use the personal account direct message. But if they message you in a group, we have the ability to message them back with AI, and even without the AI, there's another way to do it in your automations, but we're not going to go into that in this lesson today. So we can do it through the workflows. That's the alternate method. And we can also do it via the AI. All right. So you can use systems and automations to build relationships with investors and use online tools to find investors directly, then use AI and automations in Acquisition Pro to win stock commitments. But let's go take a look first. So let's go in and go back to settings and back to conversational AI. Notice I have my AI pilot on. Now, it's super simple to set up. If I pull this down, you can see you can do Instagram, Facebook, SMS. GBP is Google Business Profile. So if you have messaging through, let's say you have Workspace on Google, you have the ability to have Google Chat. That chat AI, we can use AI for that chat if you wanted to. I personally don't use that chat except for with VAs, and I don't need my AI tool working with them unless I'm training them. Then I can set up an AI bot to train my VAs via Google Business Profile. The chat widget, which is on the website, and live chat. So let's look at the website. So here's my Acquisition Pro website. Right down here is that chat widget. Hey there, have a question? Text us here. So enter your question below with your name and phone number, and I will text you right back. So if they put in their name, their phone number, their message, hit send, okay, they're going to get a text message. Now, I don't have really a way to test this because it's going to be too difficult for you to see my cell phone. But I did a test earlier today, and I screwed up both tests because I'm a dummy. Wasn't paying attention. And then I didn't have enough time to wait after the second screw up, because what I wanted you to see was how to get them to actually schedule the appointment. But I'll show you that in a second. All right. So that is, and you can do the same thing via live chat. They can do this, that instead of texting right back, just put your message below, put in your email and phone number, and you can respond right back with it. Okay. Either way. Now, I did a test. Well, let's go back to this first. So that's all those different ways. Again, Sean, used you, sorry, TWT for our demonstrations. I've got it so it will wait 30 seconds before it responds. You can put minutes, seconds, however much time you want to put here, so it doesn't really appear to be that bot. Maximum messages a bot can send a contact, and then put it to sleep if somebody responds to it, which is what happened. I responded to the wrong message because I had two screens going when I screwed up twice today trying to show you how this works. So that's all. That's the easy setup. The other part of the setup under bot training is we can give it frequently asked questions. So if I open this, I just put in 3 FAQs. Is there a minimum investment required? If that gets asked, it's going to say something similar to, we would need to know more about you and your investing goals before we can answer that. Would you like to schedule a 30-minute strategy session? Again, the goal is to get them to get in a conversation with you via Zoom. Okay. If they start to schedule with you, one of the things is it doesn't tell what time zone it is. So I've told it if they ask what time zone it is, here is the response it gives. And then the other, what type of properties do you purchase? This is the investor asking that question on your website. And I've got it trained to say typically multifamily, and we have a strong pipeline. Would you like to get on a 30-minute call session to see if what we do meets your investment goals? So trying to get them to schedule that appointment. We can put our page in here. I use Sean's page, twtmultifamily.com, told it to get the data so it could learn. All right. So you guys ready to test this? It's pretty neat. If I go to bot trial, you can see I did a test earlier using the same thing, but right here, I'm going to reset this conversation. And what I'm going to do is say, what is the minimum investment? Now, if you guys know anything about other chat bots, if you misspell something, it won't recognize the chat. So it responds back: to determine the minimum investment, a 30-minute strategy session is suggested to understand your goals. How's your schedule for a sit down? Okay. If you don't like this message, you can hit this and tell it what you want it to say. This is how we train it. The more you do this with the bot, the better training it will get, the more conversational it will get. All right. So now I'm just going to say, what kind of properties do you invest in? And it's doing it immediately because of the test, not waiting that 30 seconds. We mainly invest in multifamily properties. Fancy a 30-minute chat to see if it aligns with your investment goals. Let's see. Do you have anything tomorrow? And it will spit back out. Absolutely. Here are the available slots for April 11th, 8 a.m., 8:30, 9:30, 10, 10:30. Which slot works best for you? Okay, this is sounding strange. Is this a bot? Yeah, I'm here to help you set up your appointment smoothly. Which time would you like to book for tomorrow? 9? This is too cool. So what happens now is it's going to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and book at, can I book you for 9:30 because the 9 wasn't available?
I was gonna say, does it pull the information from your calendar, or does it pull it from like a
Nope,
calendary?
from the calendar. Yep. All right, great. You're booked for April 11th at 9:30 a.m. All right. So now when I did this on my other account, now it knows who I am on the other account. Let's go to the calendar and see if it actually booked it. So if we go here and we go back and we go to calendars and we look at tomorrow, let's see, calendars. I think it was the investor opt-in calendar. There it is. 9 was already booked, and it booked the 9:30 right there. Now, no title because it was the test, but it automatically books it to your calendar. Now, how much time is that going to save you? Okay. This is extremely powerful. And the more time you spend testing it and going through it, the better it will be. So I did a real test to it. One of the things I told you about is we have this missed call text back. So what I tell it in mine, if I go to my Acquisition Pro and I go to settings and I scroll all the way down, it says, hi, this is Jennifer. Remember, I said I like Jennifer. David Monroe, CCIM's AI assistant with Acquisition Pro. I see that we just missed your call. How can I help you today? Well, I did a test. So if I go to back to conversations, so I go back, conversations. Hey, Sean, I see you're texting me here. What are you testing it? Okay, right here, the AI bot is waiting to respond to Sean. So Sean's over here testing my.
Yep, I asked it if it was an AI and it said yes. I was just.
So now it's telling you now, Sean, ask it. Can you schedule a demo? So while Sean plays with that, we're going to go look at another conversation that I did right here. So here we started with a phone call. Okay. So it says, hi, this is Jennifer. And here's the phone call right here that was made. And this was the text message I was using. It's my Google Voice number. I was just using that as the test. This is Jennifer, AI assistant. How can I help you? I was calling to schedule a demo. Got it. Let's get you set up for a demo. Which day best works for you? Do you have anything for tomorrow? Sure thing for tomorrow. I got the 11th of April, 2024 at 11 and 2. And if we go look at my schedule for tomorrow, those are the only 2 slots available on tomorrow's calendar. So it was accurate. What time zone are you in? Time zone isn't specified here. Could you tell me which time zone you're in so I can confirm? I'm in the central. Great. I've got central time slots at 11 and 2. Which one would you like? How about 2? All right, let's go ahead and book that for you. And I screwed up and typed in yes. So it's not actually going to book the call because I broke the AI when I did that. So if you noticed under Sean's conversation, it says, if he puts in the next spot, it says, if you respond, the bot will go to sleep for 2 hours. So as soon as I type that yes in, I put the bot to sleep. So it stopped. But you guys can see how powerful this is. All right. Any questions on the AI bot while Sean's having fun with?
Yeah, I've got a quick question for you, David. This is Andrew. So using the AI on our website, this would not be considered content as you had described before with Google
correct.
penalizing us for using AI content, right?
This is in private. This is not in the public forum. This is via SMS text. This is not content. This is a conversation between your prospect and your AI assistant. And you can take over that conversation at any time. And I had to do that today. You guys can, I'll show it to you if he's on here. I apologize if you don't want me showing this. But Dennis asked me a question. I gave him some content to review a while back on my YouTube channel. And he says, hey, David, just got finished listening to module 1 of your SAW. Wanted to know, do you have the slides available? Okay. So the bot kind of took over at this point, says, hey there, let's confirm if we're still on track for our call, because it recognized we had a scheduled call earlier a couple of weeks ago. Regarding the SAW slides, could you clarify if you're currently enrolled in one of our programs or considering it? Now, that was pretty smart. I'm glad it did that. That was interesting. Now, the SAW is on YouTube, so it doesn't apply, but I like that it asked that question. So then Dennis says, I'm considering one of your programs, just have to see which one fits his budget. Got it. Take time to review the program and see what works best for you financially. I'm here to book your appointment when you're ready. Says, okay, evenings and Tuesdays is my availability. Now, I don't have anything in the evenings on the calendar, and my Tuesday is currently booked because I'm traveling. So the bot got a little confused right here, and I'm still training it. It says, sound like a plan. Feel free to check the calendar, and when you've picked a slot, let me know. But it didn't send the calendar to Dennis. So this was a screw up. So I took over the conversation at this point and just let him know, sorry, Dennis, you've been interacting with my new AI assistant, and we continued the conversation from there. So you guys can take over the conversation from the bot at any time. And what's really cool is you get notified that the conversation is happening. So.
Yeah, David, the tool behind the tool, are you using Twilio?
Twilio is our VoIP provider, our voice over internet protocol phone provider.
I will say, just as a word of warning to everybody, be absolutely meticulous in following their rules, because if they shut off your account, it can be 3 or 4 weeks before you get it reset, if they reset it. I'm going through that problem right now.
Now, Sean, if you were in Acquisition Pro and not with another tool, I would have helped you prevent that from happening. Just saying.
Good to know.
Just saying. All right. You guys ready to keep moving? We're coming up on the end of this thing. All right. So what are next steps? Well, start building relationships now. So list all your existing contacts, put them in a spreadsheet, upload them to Acquisition Pro, use social media and list brokers for more leads, train your conversation AI to schedule appointments for you, win soft commitments from conversations via Acquisition Pro, and let Acquisition Pro schedule your appointments for you. So for most of you, building and maintaining a system is not what you're good at, nor should you be. So what if I built and maintained it for you, Sean? Customized it to your business needs goals. So all you have to do is hold conversations with investors that want to hear what you have to offer. Don't forget, it's got the built-in calendar and can schedule appointments for you using AI on autopilot. And it has an investor newsletter template pre-built for you. Now, I showed you the landing page. I showed you the workflow. I showed you the AI. I didn't show you the newsletter template, but it's there. You don't need to learn a new tool or how to set it up. Consider that roadblock eliminated. You don't need to keep paying for all the different tools you currently subscribe to. Yes, you heard that right. No more ClickFunnels, Kartra, Groove. No more ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact, or GetResponse. No more Calendly, Hootsuite, HubSpot, or whatever CRM you currently pay for. So say goodbye to all those tools, all those different subscription fees, tech support, or lack thereof. Introducing the Strategic Acquisition System, which is built inside Acquisition Pro. The only done-for-you all-in-one solution for real estate professionals. The Strategic Acquisition System includes 12 months free access to Acquisition Pro. A complete done-for-you system by me, completely customized to your business. Weekly group coaching and mentoring on marketing, lead generation, and lead conversion strategies, and you can throw AI into that mix. Initial one-on-one Zoom meetings to get you customized and set up. It takes a few weeks to get you going. Then one-on-one Zoom meetings when you need it beyond normal communication channels over the next 12 months. Include your team on these calls, including your VA for training. Yes, I'll train your VA for you. Did I mention unlimited team members inside Acquisition Pro? And you'll get unlimited contacts, unlimited email sends, unlimited SMS messages, unlimited inbound and outbound calls, unlimited team members, unlimited conversational AI responses. Nobody is offering that. Not a soul out there. I pay for all the usage fees, all of it. Okay, unless you go crazy. If you go crazy, we may have to have a conversation. But with the way it works, I pay for all the usage fees. So you get lifetime access to the strategic partnering community. There's currently 301 members. Access to the weekly live sessions on Thursday to update the strategic acquisition workshop. So it includes using automations and AI with Acquisition Pro. The workshop is held over the next 6 months and lasts about 2 hours per session. We're only 2 sessions in, and we probably have 30 to 40 sessions to do. I go crazy with this. This is my A to Z course. For those that have been through it, they can tell you it's a monster. There's nothing like it in the market. So here is the Strategic Acquisition Workshop. We begin with the end in mind. Then we work on finding opportunities, and underwriting and initial market selection is in here. Then we go over negotiations and alternative acquisition strategies. Then due diligence, property management. Remember, I used to own a property management company. The capital stack, where we're talking about today, but in addition to that is also how to find a loan. Asset management, which nobody talks about in this industry. Project management for handling the value add strategies, which is all about operating the property and then exiting the deal. There are multiple, these are the modules, and there are multiple sessions in each one of these modules. Again, it's going to take me at least 6 months over Thursdays, 2 hours a session to complete this workshop, the update to it. This is its 4th iteration. You'll also get to include your business partner for free. I think I've mentioned that a couple of times. Every Monday, we have a weekly Zoom meeting on mindset and motivation at 1 East. Every Tuesday, we have a weekly Zoom meeting to answer any questions about technology at 1 East. Every Wednesday, we have a weekly Zoom meeting to answer any questions about anything. Doesn't matter, capital raising, acquisitions, the market, interest rates, doesn't matter what it is. Your dog is sick. I don't know, I might be able to recommend a veterinarian or something, but anything on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. East. Every Friday, we have the weekly group coaching on marketing, lead generation, and lead conversion strategies at 11 a.m. East. And also on Friday, we have the weekly Zoom meeting on the state of the market at 1 p.m. East. This Friday ought to be very interesting with all the data that came out today. Every Saturday, Charles Seaman holds his weekly Zoom meeting on the underwriting workshop at 4 East, and everybody that is part of our community gets to join that session. That's 7 weekly live sessions, including the update to the strategic acquisition workshop, which you will not get anywhere else. I've removed the fear of building the technology, and I've removed the fear of marketing. No more fragmented subscriptions with the other tools you have no idea how to use. Yet the gurus say you must have them to be successful. Imagine that. Everything you need to be successful is included and all built by me inside Acquisition Pro. Also built into the tool is access to all of my multifamily education, resources, and community, although just about all of my education is up on YouTube because I have promised to provide all of my education for free, and I am going to continue to do so. So you literally never need to leave Acquisition Pro for all your multifamily needs. So for the attendees of this masterclass only, you're going to get the strategic acquisition system and everything I have discussed so far, including access to me. And no, it's not $25,000 plus like everything else you see out there. It's only $4,997 for a single payment for 12 months or $497 a month. And you can add as many team members as you want. And if you make the decision to invest in your business today, as a bonus, I'll take another $1,000 off the one-time investment, use the coupon code SAS1000, or $100 off the monthly investment every month with the coupon code SAS100. So I'm going to post both of those into the chat box so you guys have them if you want them. Coming now. There it is. So for today only, get everything mentioned for $3,997 or $397 a month. And again, that is for 12 months. At midnight tonight, the cost for the strategic acquisition system will go up to $4,997 or $497 a month. This initial promotion of the strategic acquisition system will end on April 16th, which is Tuesday at midnight. Because I'm doing all the work, keeping in mind student coaches will never be used in my community. Building your custom strategic acquisition system and holding all the live weekly sessions myself, except for the Saturday workshop. I only have enough room for 5 strategic acquisition system clients. And there's an unconditional, no question money back guarantee for 30 days. So you literally have 0 risk. So let's recap. You get 12 months access to the strategic acquisition system, has a $5,000 value. 12 months to Acquisition Pro, that's a $1,764 value. Lifetime access to all the multifamily education, that's $5,000 value, even though it's up on YouTube for free now. Lifetime access to all the multifamily resources, that is a $10,000 value. Lifetime access to the strategic partner and community, that's a $10,000 value. 12 months access to personal coaching and mentoring, that's a $10,000 value. Lifetime access to live weekly meetings, that's a $5,000 value. And unlimited team members for free, well, that one is priceless. So $46,746 in real value for only $300,997 or $397 a month if you invest today using the coupon codes SAS1000 or SAS100. Or you can wait until Tuesday and it'll be $4,997 or $497 a month. But only for the first 5 people that invest today. Then this offer will expire at this ridiculously low investment. That allows you to automatically run your real estate business so you can do what you do best, hold conversations with people that want to talk to you. So if you want me to do all the work for you inside of Acquisition Pro, click the links in the chat and get started now. Q&A. I said it would take an hour and a half. It took an hour and 55 minutes. I told you I'd go deep. It happens. My apologies.
Man of your word. I appreciate all of the great content there, David. Thank you. Quick question for you. As a member of the strategic acquisition community in Acquisition Pro, where can I find the phone numbers or the link information for those meetups that you have throughout the week? I'm embarrassed to say that I couldn't find it.
They're in the school community.
In the school community. Okay. Got it.
Under calendar.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any
Yeah,
questions?
I think I've been with you through like 3 different systems now, so I have that same problem of remembering where where everything is.
We went from, it's the 4th. We went from
Oh,
Facebook.
4th, yeah.
We went from Facebook to Slack to Mighty Networks, and now we're on school. Yeah, it's, you know, you have to do what works best and what is cost effective. And Mighty Networks
What's the
cost effective for the value.
Oh, what's the system there?
What are you referring to? I think that's Jeff's voice.
Oh, you were saying that you were using Slack before, but now you're using.
Oh, School, SKOOL. Just send me an email, Jeff, and I'll send you the link to it if you're not in there already.
Okay. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Yes, sir. What other questions you guys
And
have?
as an official endorsement, I bought this system about what, 2 weeks ago?
Something like that.
Yeah. Just let the other people know if they have any questions or need a reference.
Thank you again. It was nice to connect with everyone. David, appreciate your time.
Yes,
I'll have a
ma'am.
conversation with my partner and be in touch.
Okay. If you guys want the chat, don't forget to hit the 3 little dots in the chat button at the top right so you can save the chat.
I did do that.
Good.
Well, thanks everybody. Great chatting with you.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, David.
David, if you get a hit from one of your Google ads, can you forward that directly to Acquisition Pro, or how?
Actually, George, because you can integrate Google into Acquisition Pro, you can actually view your ad dashboard from Acquisition Pro.
Oh, look at that.
Very cool. Good stuff. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate it, everybody. All right, guys.
Sure.
Have a great day.
You too. Delroy, I know you were on the fence, brother. Did he just walk out? I saw him a second ago. Oh, he left. Any other questions? I have another meeting in 1 minute.
Thanks, David.
We need to end this, unfortunately. Sorry it took all the time away from Q&A. I love my Q&As, but I do have another appointment. Thank you guys for attending, those that are still here. Ken, Richard, Michael, Ivan, George, Rick. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Alrighty, bye. Everybody, have a great rest of your week.